One day, I was in my room, watching Netflix when my mom yelled that dinner was ready. I went over to the kitchen and sat down as I started eating. But then I remembered something. I'm home alone.
My town was famous for having multiple murder cases. My parents were police officers, and I always found the cases interesting. One day, I ordered a camera from eBay to possibly be able to help my parents. When it finally arrived, I opened the box and took the camera out. I decided to check the camera roll first to see if everything was cleared out. But what I saw was horrifying. Pictures of me, all throughout the years.
Every year my mom told me not to leave my room on May 5th. She would have the date circled on all the calendars in the house, and she even built locks on my door to ensure I wouldn't get out. On May 4th, at exactly 12:00 a.m., she ran into my room and shut the door. I begged and begged her to explain, and finally, she did.
A very, very long time ago, there was two girls playing by the pool when one of them accidentally pushed the other girl in. She wasn't prepared to get pushed in, so that's when she drowned. The other girl just left her there and ran inside.
So now every year on May 5th, we have to stay inside because of me.
I'm the girl who pushed her in.
And now the other one comes to try to possess you.
Because she
I was a very famous influencer. When I announced that I was pregnant, I knew that my fame would rise and I would get attention.
Congratulations, you have a healthy baby girl.
My baby looked like nothing like me.
And even worse, she was overweight already.
Are you sure that she's my baby?
I'm sure she's about 7 pounds overweight.
As soon as the doctor left, I knew I had to get rid of my child. Nobody online could know that such a hippo could possibly be mine. A few days later, I took her to the beach. As I struggled to hold her heavy body, I walked down the pier and dropped her into the water. As I walked back, I felt no guilt whatsoever. A few years later, I decided to try again for a baby.
Congratulations.
This time, my baby was stunning. She looked identical to me. Me and my daughter had a very special bond. Everyone on my socials agreed. I decided to take her to my favorite place, the beach. As soon as we arrived, she started crying.
It's okay, sweetie. Look at how pretty the sunset is.
I walked down the pier so that she could get a better view.
But she started crying even more.
Please don't throw me off this time.
One day, the girl that everyone called weird decided to ask the popular girl on a sleepover. The popular girl, called Abby, felt bad to say no, so she had no choice but to accept. When Abby came to Emma's house, she felt a weird vibe. When she rang the bell, Emma's dad opened the door. He was acting really weird and getting close to her. She went to Emma's room, and by that time, it was nighttime. Emma told Abby not to go outside of the room past 10 p.m., and Abby was kinda weirded out, but she agreed. So they went to sleep. Abby woke up at 2 a.m. and went to get some water. She saw Emma's dad watching TV, but then suddenly he got up. Abby ignored it and got some water until she felt someone behind her. Emma started yelling from her room for Abby to come quick. So Abby ran to her room. Emma started telling Abby to never do that again. The next day, Abby's friend asked her where she was, and Abby told her that she was over at Emma's house. Abby's friend told her that there's rumors going around that Emma's dad kidnapped young girl.
I live in a world where humans can only speak 500 words per day. I know what you may think, but I've gotten quite used to it. I was making my way home from work until I realized I only had 5 words left for the day. So I tried not to speak during my way home. But with only 5 words, how was I meant to convince the man in front of me not to pull the trigger?
A few years ago, my boss went on holiday for a couple of weeks to Spain. Midway through the holiday, he got a phone call from the police informing him that his sister had passed away in a fire in her flat. So he rushes back home early, deals with the police and the passing and everything. My employers told him to take some time off to grieve, which he duly did. When he came back to work on a Monday morning a few weeks later, we invited him into our coffee room to talk and offer him our sympathies and support. About half an hour later, he excuses himself to start work. He walks into his office, sits down at his desk, turns on his computer, and checks to see if there are any answer phone messages. And the very first message that plays is his sister, screaming down the phone,
Help me, I'm trapped! I can't breathe!
Still sends chills down my spine to think about it. As you can imagine, he was pretty traumatized.
Bianca was a rising star on TikTok. Her infectious smile and bubbly personality attracting millions of followers. Her videos ranged from makeup tutorials to travel vlogs, each garnering thousands of likes and shares. But behind the fame and the flashing lights of social media lurked a shadow that followed her every move. It started innocently enough, with comments appearing on Bianca's posts. They were harmless at first, just praises for her beauty and talent. But as time went on, the tone grew darker, the messages more obsessive. Bianca tried to brush them off, but there was something about the words that sent shivers down her spine. Packages would arrive at her doorstep. At first, Bianca thought they were from fans, but there was always something off about them. Like an oddly specific letter she received, things that made her skin crawl. She blocked the sender's accounts and changed her privacy settings. But no matter what she did, the stalker always found a way to reach her. They seemed to anticipate her every move, every post, every breath she took. One night, Bianca woke to the sound of footsteps outside her bedroom door. Heart pounding, she reached for her phone, ready to call for help, but the screen remained blank. Panic rising, she went for the light switch, illuminating the room in a harsh glare. There it was. Jeremiah and Ivy have been dating for a while. Jeremiah is madly in love with this girl. They are a cute couple and are very happy together. But Ivy is a little toxic. But Jeremiah doesn't seem to see it or care. Everyone doesn't like how Ivy treats him sometimes. She makes him her little slave. Everyone knows Jeremiah. He has been popular since kindergarten, and they know that he has stood up for every girl he has ever dated. So that he is acting like this is surprising the whole class, the whole school. It's not like him. It's like he is obsessed. He won't let her go. He does everything she asks him to.
See you tomorrow, babe,
he says with a smile on his face. She replies with a,
Yeah, see ya.
She then walks to the clothing store and calls her friend.
Hey, girl.
Hi, okay, so the plan, remember it?
Yes, of course I do, but does he have a clue?
No, he does not. He is clueless, poor baby. He's so blinded by love. Call you later.
Later that night, Ivy and Jeremiah were hanging out at her place. They were matching PJs and watching a movie. They were laughing and having fun until Ivy asked him if they could go to the beach.
Huh? The beach? But it's so cold outside though, babe.
No, it's not. Come on.
She says while chuckling. They hop in the car and drives to the beach. The wind is blowing, but it's warm and not cold.
See, I told you it wasn't going to be cold.
He walks towards the water and reaches for something in his pockets, turns around to stab her. But she wasn't there. He quickly turns around and sees her standing right behind him.
Maybe you should be more faster next time.
Ivy, no!
The next day, it was on the news that there was a body found dead on the beach.
It worked, girl.
Yes, I know.
Oh, hey, babe. I was looking for you. I've come back from the trip to Hawaii. It was so fun.
There he stands, he's scared of monsters. Though especially the monster under our bed. but whenever we told anyone about it, they'd call us childish and giggles. One night, we had a massive argument with our parents, and when we were finished, we went up into our room. Getting into bed and absolutely forgetting about the monster. In the morning, we woke up with the same symptoms, painful headache and blurry vision. Guessing it was from last night's argument, we hopped out of bed to get some painkillers. As we passed our mirror, we both caught a glimpse of dark red in the corner of our eyes. We wanted to go have a second look, just in case, but we nearly threw up. We had stained blood clothes and fresh blood on our hands. And obviously, we had blurry vision, so we couldn't see it on each other very well. We rushed downstairs to tell our parents, but then nearly fainted at what we saw. Our parents dead on the ground, with fresh blood all over them and there. Soulless eyes wide open as they could possibly be. While my sister stayed with my parents, I ran back to our bedroom to call the police. But my heart dropped when I saw the gun right next to my phone. I was like an ice cube and froze. I hesitantly walked towards the door, shaking in fear as I opened it. The police quickly dashed in, past me, and arrested me and my sister. The spot.
I heard a screeching scream, so I thought I should call 911.
We heard our neighbor say to the police as we stood there, looking stupid and confused. So now you know mine and my sister's story. What else do you want me to say or do?
Lexi, please.
It's Miss Robb to you, young lady, right?
Oh, yes, Miss Robb. I really need to know. Was this monster ever stopped?
Two girls named Lily and Dove were at a party when Lily felt ill and wanted to go home. Lily was so ill that she vomited in the toilet.
Stay here, I'll be right back.
Dove went to get something to help with Lily's situation. She looked through cabinets and dressers, but then she found a cute doll that she had never seen before.
Huh? This is so cute, though.
She grabs it and brings it to Lily. She gives it to Lily and she laughs.
Wait, what is that?
It's a bear?
No, I mean, why is it bleeding?
They both look at the doll, and it's actually bleeding. It was not bleeding when Dove grabbed it. They threw it outside and destroyed it.
Yeah, we don't mess with that stuff.
They went upstairs, but to their horror, there the doll sat in the bathroom waiting for them. Lily and Dove were terrified and started panicking, but their last straw was when the doll started speaking.
Come play with me!
They ran into one of the bedrooms and searched for stuff to use to throw away the doll. They searched one of the drawers and found a scissors, but when they were about to step a foot outside the bedroom, the doll was standing there with a pocket knife. A day later, the two girls were declared dead. They were killed in their own home. The police don't know who did it, and they have no suspect. And the weird thing is, there was no sign of any doll or stuffed animal in the house.
Once there were two young girls who were twins.
She grew uglier and uglier every day. I still refused to. Growing up, my parents didn't make much, meaning we couldn't afford a house. For a while, we lived on the streets, until eventually we got lucky and found an abandoned house. We moved in instantly. While wandering in my new room, I decided to open the drawer. It was mostly empty except for a note. Out of curiosity, I picked it up and read it. I was shocked, horrified. I immediately threw it away, but the next morning it appeared once again, this time including new names. Except my parents' names had already been crossed out, but that wasn't possible. They were downstairs, alive and breathing. My mom then called out to me,
"Melanie, breakfast is ready."
I nervously walked down the stairs, stopping midway. I got a quick look at my parents. They looked different, paler. My gut told me I shouldn't trust them. I then noticed my mom staring at me. I quickly told her, I need to go grab something.
Okay, be quick, darling.
I quickly closed the door behind me. I had to get out of here.
Open the door, sweetie.
Once upon a time, there was a girl named Zoe. Zoe thought of going shopping for some makeup and looking at clothes in town. When she went out, there was a mysterious man standing behind the tree. When Zoe arrived at Sephora, the same man is sitting on a bench. When Zoe walked into Sephora, she looked at some makeup. When she went out, the man is hidden behind a pillar, and this time, the man follows her. When she arrives at a clothing store, she sees a man standing next to the entrance. She thought she recognized him somewhere, but didn't think much of it. When she was looking at a dress, the man stands by the window and stares at her. When she leaves the store, she hears someone walking behind her. But when she turns around, no one was there. When Zoe got home, she heard someone knocking on the door. Zoe carefully walks up and unlocks the door. And then...
someone outside my house, just staring at me. I'm pretty sure he's been following me.
Stay inside, ma'am. We will send a patrol car.
When the police arrived, they said they checked the air him. It was the worst night of my life. There were rumors that the school was haunted, but I didn't believe them. So when Caitlin dared me to spend the night at school alone, I agreed. After school that day, I headed to the restroom to meet Caitlin as planned. She wished me good luck and left. About an hour later, I heard the janitor leaving. Glad to finally be able to walk off the cramp in my leg, I ventured out into the hallway. The school was a lot creepier at night than I thought it would be, and the empty halls seemed so much bigger. I decided to raid the cafeteria for snacks before going into the principal's office to look at the CCTV. Hacking into his computer was easy, considering his password was password. I was flicking through the security footage when my heart dropped. Staring back at me was a tall, dark figure with an evil grin. I ran to the office door, only to see it coming straight towards me. Terrified, I jumped through the vent and moved as quickly and quietly as I could. I spun around and rushed in the opposite direction, coming out of the vent in the restroom. I ran towards the school entrance and then... They think I'm crazy, but this wasn't...
It began with a phone call at exactly midnight from an unknown caller. A distorted voice ominously warned, "Watch the door," before abruptly hanging up. Initially dismissing it as a prank, I tried to ignore the unease that crept over me. The calls persisted every night, always at midnight, always the same chilling message. Despite reassurances from friends who suspected a glitch or a prankster, my paranoia deepened. To prove to myself nothing was amiss, I set up a camera to record my door throughout the night. Reviewing the footage the next day, I expected to find nothing. Instead, at the stroke of midnight, as the phone rang, the video captured the door eerily opening by itself, revealing only the dark, empty hallway. This visual confirmation of something amiss terrified me. That same night, the call came again. This time, after the usual message, the voice added, "Now you see." Unable to face another night alone, I fled to a friend's house.